The night is thick with the kind of dark that swallows everything: trees, rocks, the very air itself. The wind howls through the forest, whipping against the heroine's face, dragging her deeper into the shadows. She's running. She doesn't know for how long. It's all a blur now, the branches snapping underfoot, her breath ragged and shallow, each step pushing her farther into the abyss. Her skin stings from the scratches, her side burns with the pain of a deep cut, but she ignores it. There's no time to care about the blood soaking through her torn shirt. Not now. Her heart thunders in her chest like it might break free of her ribs. Her mind is a storm. Chaotic, clouded with fear, panic, and a sense of impending doom she can't shake. She can't afford to let her guard down, not even for a second. She hears them behind her, the wolves. Not just wolves. No, these are creatures of nightmare. Their growls echo through the trees, low and guttural, vibrating through the very ground she's running on. Their eyes, glowing like embers in the dark, pierce the blackness, locking onto her like a hunter after its prey. She stumbles, her foot catching on a root, and she goes down hard, the rough earth scraping her hands and knees. But she doesn't stop. She can't stop. With a grunt, she pushes herself to her feet, eyes darting around wildly. Every direction is darkness. Every direction is danger. She knows they're getting closer. She can hear their claws scraping against the earth, their breaths hot and heavy, as if they've been waiting for this moment. She can feel the weight of their presence, closing in on her from every angle. There's no escape. Her mind screams at her to run faster, but her legs feel like they're made of stone. She's so tired. Too tired. But she can't stop. The pack is coming. In the depths of her mind, she can feel it, the shift. The power that's been building inside of her, raging like a wildfire, threatening to break free. She's always known it was there, a gift, a curse. And in this moment, she's terrified of it. Terrified of what it could do if it finally takes over. She doesn't trust herself to control it. Not yet. Not when she's on the edge of breaking, her body bruised and bloodied. But it's there, pressing against her skin, demanding to be let loose. It feels like it could rip through her, tearing everything she knows apart, and she wonders, for just a moment, if that's the only way she's going to survive this. What am I supposed to do? The thought hangs in her mind, suspended in the air as she stumbles forward, her legs buckling with exhaustion. But she can't stop running. She doesn't have the luxury of giving in. She knows they're still behind her, their howls growing louder, closer, as if they're savoring the chase. She can't make sense of it. These wolves, these monsters, they're different. There's something unnatural about them. Something primal, something ancient, something she can feel deep in her bones. The forest is her enemy too. Every shadow, every rustling leaf is a threat. The trees seem to close in around her, trapping her, like they're pushing her toward the waiting jaws of the pack. She tries to push harder, but her body feels like it's falling apart, every muscle aching, every breath a struggle. The storm rages overhead, the wind tugging at her hair, the rain beginning to fall in heavy, merciless sheets. It's almost like the weather itself is against her, as if the whole world is conspiring to end this nightmare. Just keep going. Her mind tells her, you have to keep running. But even as the thought pushes her forward, a part of her knows it's a lie. She can't outrun them forever. Her side aches from the wound, her energy draining with each step. Her heart slams in her chest, louder than the sound of the wolves, louder than the thunder above. She doesn't know how much longer she can keep this up. She can't go on like this. But then, through the rain and the shadows, she hears something else. A sound. A voice. You can't outrun your destiny. The words are barely a whisper, but they hit her like a lightning strike. Her eyes widen, and for the first time in what feels like hours, she slows. Her breath catches in her throat. Her mind races, trying to process what she just heard. But before she can even grasp the meaning of the voice, a figure appears in the darkness. It's him. A figure, tall and powerful, steps into her path, a shadow among shadows. He's not a man, not entirely. His eyes burn with a fire that seems to glow, cutting through the storm like they were meant for this. He steps forward, his presence commanding. Her heart skips a beat as she takes him in. The Alpha. She doesn't know how he found her or why he's here, but in this moment, it doesn't matter. He's here, and that means everything is about to change. She's not alone anymore, but she's not sure whether that's a blessing or a curse. The Alpha's gaze locks onto hers, his eyes full of things she can't even begin to understand. His scent reaches her, a mixture of earth, rain, and something darker, wilder, that makes her pulse quicken. There's power in his gaze, in the way he holds himself, as if the world itself obeys him. His voice cuts through the rain. You're not running anymore. Her breath catches. What does he mean by that? But before she can say anything, he's moving toward her, closing the distance with the ease of a predator who's already claimed his prey. He moves like a wolf, his muscles rippling beneath his clothes, his eyes never leaving hers. Her body stiffens instinctively, her heart racing. She doesn't know what to make of him. She doesn't know if she should trust him, if she should run. But deep down, a part of her knows something undeniable. This moment, this encounter, it's all part of something bigger than either of them. Something she's been running from for far too long, and suddenly, she doesn't know if she wants to keep running at all. She opens her mouth to speak, to ask him who he is, what he wants, but the words don't come. Instead, the only sound she can make is a desperate, breathless gasp as the howls of the wolves grow louder, closer. The pack is closing in on them. The storm rages overhead, its fury matching the storm within her, and in that moment she realizes the truth. She's not just being hunted, she's being chosen. Her heart races, her pulse quickens. The Alpha's eyes lock onto hers, and in them she sees something, an understanding, a shared history, a bond that she can't explain, but she can feel it deep inside her. The power, the connection between them. It's something ancient, something that runs in their blood. "Stay with me," he says, his voice low and commanding. Stay with him? Her mind screams at her, telling her to run, to fight, to do anything but stay. But her body moves without her permission. She takes a step toward him, drawn to him, to his strength, his certainty. And just like that, she's not alone anymore. The wolves are no longer the only predators in the night, and she doesn't know if she's ready for this. If you're feeling the heat of this chase, don't miss what comes next. Hit subscribe and join the Kismet Publishing Collection family for more heart-stopping stories. The rain still falls, but now it feels like a distant murmur, a soft hum beneath the heavier weight in her chest. Her heart's thudding rhythm grows louder in her ears, drowning out everything else. She can feel the heat of his gaze on her, but it's not his eyes that burn. It's the past, the memories that surge within her, unbidden, relentless. The shadows she's tried to outrun. The darkness that clings to her like a second skin. Her pulse quickens, and for a moment, her breath hitches. She can almost see it, feel it. The night they cast her out, their voices rising, sharp as knives. Too dangerous, too unpredictable. She hadn't been ready for it. None of it. She'd never asked for this life, this power. They had looked at her like she was something to be feared, something to be contained. I was their monster. The words echo through her mind, the bitterness of them still fresh, still raw. Maybe they were right. Maybe she was the weapon they always feared, the weapon she hadn't been able to control. Her vision blurs for a second, and she's there again, standing in front of them. Her pack, her family, who had once loved her, who had once thought she was special. But that was before they saw what she could do, what she was becoming. Before they realized that her bloodline was something ancient, something that ran deeper than they could understand, something that could either save them all or destroy them. "You're a danger to us all," they had said. The council had been firm, cold. She could still feel their judgment in the air, thick and suffocating. It was like they saw her power as a disease, something that needed to be eradicated before it could spread, before it could ruin them. She had begged. She had pleaded. She wasn't ready to leave them, to leave the only family she had ever known. But there was no mercy in their eyes, just fear, and fear was stronger than love. She had stood there, her heart breaking, watching the pack she had called home turn its back on her, and then, as if she had been nothing more than an afterthought, they had shoved her out of their territory, out of their lives. I was alone. The memory stings like an open wound, each second of it raw, fresh, as if it had just happened yesterday. The cold air, the loneliness, the heavy weight of her own power pressing down on her, suffocating her. It had taken everything in her to keep from collapsing, to keep from giving in to the storm inside her that had begged to be unleashed. But she had been strong. Stronger than they knew. Stronger than she had ever thought possible. But I didn't want this. She shudders, the thought tightening her chest. She never asked for this power, never wanted it to become what it was now. She was just her. Just a wolf. Just a girl who wanted to belong, who wanted to be loved. But instead, they made her something else, something that could only bring destruction. They made me a weapon. The words are a sharp whisper in her mind, and she recoils from the memory as if she could escape it. But it follows her. It always follows her. "You're more than you think," the Alpha's voice interrupts her thoughts, pulling her from the spiral of her past. His words are low, steady, like a hand reaching through the chaos to steady her. She blinks, his presence like an anchor in the midst of her storm. Her heart is still racing, but the weight of her emotions lightens, if only for a moment. She turns to look at him, her gaze flicking up to meet his. His eyes are piercing, but there's something else in them, something that seems to understand. Something that sees beyond the surface, beyond the fears and the scars she hides so carefully. He sees her, the real her, the one that's still broken, the one that's still lost. "I'm not ready for this," she says, her voice breaking. She doesn't know why she says it, but the words feel like they've been waiting to escape for far too long. She's afraid. Afraid of what he sees in her. Afraid of what he will make her do. But even as the fear twists inside her, there's a pull toward him that she can't deny. I can't trust him. Not yet. Not like this. But her body betrays her. Her heart betrays her. Because there's something about him that makes her feel safe in a way she hasn't felt in years. Safe in a world that's only ever given her rejection. And for the briefest moment, the storm inside her quiets. It still churns, still threatens to break free, but it's manageable. Like it could be tamed. Like she could tame it if she only had someone who could help her. Someone who believed in her, even when she didn't believe in herself. You don't have to be afraid, he says softly, taking a step closer. His presence is like a balm to the raw wound of her heart. She can feel the warmth of him, like a promise in the night. A promise that maybe, just maybe, she isn't beyond saving. But what if I am? She looks away, afraid to let herself believe in it, afraid to trust in this fleeting moment of peace. She spent so long running, hiding from the very thing that makes her who she is. The power that's part of her blood, that's part of her soul. She doesn't know how to control it. She doesn't know how to wield it without destroying everything she touches. I've been running from this for so long. Her mind drifts again to the nights she spent alone, hiding in the woods, in the shadows. The nights she would have given anything to have someone there. To have someone who understood her, who wouldn't turn their back on her when things got too dangerous, when things got too out of control. But now, standing in front of this alpha, she feels the first spark of hope she's had in years. Hope that maybe she doesn't have to carry this burden alone. Hope that maybe he can help her control it. But what if it's too late? What if I've already destroyed everything I touch? Her gaze flicks back to him, to the alpha who's standing so close now, his presence overwhelming, his strength, his power. It's magnetic. She feels drawn to him, pulled towards something she doesn't fully understand. The conflict inside her grows. She knows she can't keep running from herself, but she doesn't know if she's ready to face what's inside her. She doesn't know if she's strong enough to face the truth, but somehow, deep down, she knows she can't face it alone. And the only person who can help her, the one person who might be able to show her the way, is him. The forest is different now. The heavy, oppressive weight of the storm that had chased them through the night has faded into a quiet stillness. The air smells sweeter here, richer, like something ancient, something that hasn't been touched in centuries. It's like the very earth beneath her feet is alive, breathing in time with the rhythm of her own pulse. The trees seem to sway, not with the wind, but with a quiet energy of their own, as if they've been waiting for this moment, waiting for her. She doesn't know what she was expecting when they began their journey into these woods, but it wasn't this. The deeper they go, the more the world around them changes. The sunlight begins to filter through the thick canopy above, casting soft beams of light that glimmer like silver threads weaving through the branches. There's an almost ethereal quality to it, like they've crossed over into some other world. A world where time moves differently, where every step feels like it echoes in the heart of the earth itself. Her steps slow, as if she's unconsciously aware that they're nearing something huge, something important. She can feel the change in the air, feel the pulse of the land beneath her feet as if it's calling her forward. Her heart hammers in her chest, louder now, like it knows something she doesn't. Something she's not sure she wants to know. She doesn't speak. She can't. She's too afraid of what might come next, of what this journey is leading to. Her mind races with thoughts of the prophecy that Alpha mentioned earlier. The one with the mark. child of the flame. His words have been echoing in her head ever since he spoke them, each repetition making her heart race faster, making her skin tingle with a sense of dread and awe. She isn't sure what it all means. She isn't sure she even wants to know, but the Alpha, so calm and certain, has guided her deeper into the heart of this ancient forest, as if he's known where they're going all along, as if he's known exactly where to take her, what to show her. And there's something about him, something in the way he carries himself, that makes her trust him. Even when her mind is screaming at her to run, to get out while she still can, there's a pull inside her, a pull toward him, toward whatever it is they're heading toward. They emerge into a small clearing, and there it is, the shrine. It's ancient, weathered by time and the elements, but still standing tall, like a silent guardian of the past. Stones rise in a circle, covered in moss and ivy, their surfaces etched with symbols she doesn't recognize, symbols that seem to glow faintly, pulsing with an energy that hums beneath her skin. The air around the shrine is thick with magic. It's palpable, like a charge in the atmosphere, like the very air is alive with the weight of history. Her breath catches as she steps closer, instinctively knowing that this place isn't just a shrine, it's a doorway. A doorway to something she's not sure she's ready to face. The Alpha stops beside her, his gaze fixed on the shrine. His jaw tightens as if he's anticipating something, but doesn't say a word. His silence speaks volumes. This place means something to him, something he's not ready to share, but she can see it in the way his eyes darken, in the way his body stiffens, as if he's bracing himself for the unknown, the one with the mark. His voice is barely a whisper, but it feels like it carries through the entire forest. Child of the flame. The words hang in the air, thick with meaning, with weight. She shivers, the back of her neck prickling as if those words have carved themselves into her soul. She doesn't know why, but she can feel them, can feel the truth of them, even as doubt curls in her stomach, making her question everything she thought she knew about herself. She turns to him, her voice barely above a whisper. What does it mean? The Alpha looks at her, his expression unreadable, but there's something in his eyes, a flicker of something that she can't quite decipher. He doesn't speak at first, his gaze lingering on hers, as if weighing his words. Finally, he answers, his voice steady but laced with something deeper. It means that you are the key, he says, his words settling in the pit of her stomach. You're not just a runaway. You're not just the girl who got lost in the woods. You're the one who's been chosen to end this war. Her heart skips a beat. Chosen? Her? She's no hero. She's just a girl who's been running from herself, from everything she's ever been told she was. End the war? She asks, her voice trembling despite herself. But how? I don't even know how to control this power inside me. I can't. You don't have to control it, he interrupts, his gaze softening for the briefest moment. You just have to embrace it. Embrace it. The words linger in the air like a challenge. She wants to argue. She wants to deny everything he's saying, to push away the idea that she has any part in something this big. But a part of her knows deep down that there's no denying it anymore. This is bigger than her. This is something she's been running from her entire life. But this is her chance to step into the light, to stop hiding, to finally understand what it means to be who she really is. The air around them crackles with magic, a low hum that vibrates through her chest. She takes a step closer to the shrine. the symbols on the stones glowing brighter now, reacting to her presence. It's like the shrine is waiting for her, like it's calling her name, pulling her forward. But the doubt is still there. That nagging doubt, the one that tells her she's not ready, that she's not strong enough. What if she fails? What if this prophecy is just a cruel trick? What if she's nothing more than a pawn in someone else's game? What if the power inside her is too dangerous to be trusted? What if I can't do it? She whispers, her voice raw with vulnerability. What if I'm not the one? What if this is just a lie? The alpha steps closer, his eyes never leaving hers. He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he reaches out, his hand brushing lightly against hers, sending a jolt of electricity through her body. For a moment, she's paralyzed, her heart racing as she feels the pull of him, the strength in his touch, the power that hums just beneath the surface of everything he is. He's not just a leader, not just a protector. He's something more, something ancient. You don't have to believe in it, he says, his voice a low growl, but you'll have to face it. And when the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. Her heart thunders in her chest. The weight of his words presses down on her, filling her with a mixture of fear and something else, something like hope. For the first time, she feels like maybe she's not alone in this. Maybe this isn't just her battle. Maybe she doesn't have to carry this burden on her own, but still, she hesitates. Her gaze flicks back to the shrine, to the symbols glowing at her feet, and for the briefest moment, she wonders if this is really it. If she's really ready to become the person she's been running from all these years. You were chosen for a reason, he says, his voice firm, unwavering. This is your destiny, whether you're ready or not. Her pulse quickens. Destiny. The word hangs in the air, thick and heavy. She doesn't know if she believes in destiny or if she can even accept it. But the truth is, this moment, this place, these words, they've set something in motion inside her, something she can't stop. And for the first time in her life, she feels like she might actually be capable of something bigger than herself, something she was born for. The calm in the air is broken. It happens without warning, like the sudden crack of thunder after a long silence. One moment, they're standing there in the shrine, the symbols glowing beneath their feet, the air thick with magic and unanswered questions. The next, chaos. A low, guttural growl splits the stillness, and before she can even react, a shape darts from the shadows. Then another. The wolves, more of them, bigger, faster. But these aren't the same pack from earlier. These creatures are different, twisted. Their eyes burn with malice, their snarls guttural and cruel. She's barely caught off guard when the first one lunges, its claws aiming for her throat. Her heart skips, fear gripping her like a vice. She stumbles backward, barely avoiding its jaws as it slams into the ground just inches from her. The ground shakes beneath her feet, the trees swaying violently as more shapes emerge from the dark, encircling them. These aren't just wolves anymore. There's something else entirely. Something darker. Something that's come for her. Panic floods her veins, sharp and cold. Her instincts scream at her to run. She turns her head searching for the alpha, the one person who's been guiding her, offering her hope. He's standing there, calm but tense, his eyes blazing with the same fiery intensity she's seen before. But this time, there's something different, something darker in his gaze. There's a heaviness to it, the weight of a choice. Stay close, he growls at her, his voice deep and commanding, but even his words are heavy with the tension in the air. It's not just the wolves. She can feel it now. The world itself is closing in on them, forcing them into a battle they weren't prepared for. The alpha steps forward, shifting into his wolf form with fluid ease. His massive body ripples with power as he faces the pack. No, not a pack anymore. A rival faction. A dark force that's been hunting her, hunting them. Her body trembles with a mix of fear and something else. Power. She feels it now, swirling beneath her skin, pulling at her every nerve. But she's not ready. She's not trained. She doesn't know how to control it. She can barely breathe as her heart races faster, the adrenaline pumping through her veins. But it's there. The power. Raging. Wild. And unrestrained. You have to fight. The alpha's voice cuts through her thoughts, raw and urgent. Do not let them take you. Do not let them control you. He moves like lightning, his massive form clashing against the shadowy beasts, sending them flying back with a force that shakes the ground beneath them. His strength is like a tempest, unrelenting, unstoppable. And still, the beasts keep coming. From all sides they attack, their claws raking across the earth as they surround them. Fear coils tighter in her chest. Her breath comes faster. The power inside her is begging to be unleashed, but she's not ready to give in. Not like this. But as the chaos swirls around her, as the air crackles with the scent of blood and fury, something inside her snaps. Her body moves before she can even think about it. Her hands glow with the faintest silver light, a pulse of energy that builds within her palms, pushing out against her will. The first beast that lunges at her is met with a blast of power, the silver flame erupting from her fingers, sending it flying back with a scream of agony. Her breath catches in her throat. What have I done? But there's no time to process. There's no time to wonder if she's gone too far, if she's out of control. Another beast barrels toward her, teeth bared, its eyes wild with hunger. She can't stop herself. Her hands move again, the power surging uncontrollably, and the air around her crackles with the intensity of it. The beast screeches as the silver flame sears its fur, knocking it to the ground in a smoldering heap. The fight rages on. She's not in control anymore. The power is too much, too wild, and it's beginning to consume her. She tries to steady her breathing, to force herself to focus, but the more she fights, the more she feels the power slipping from her grasp. It's pushing her forward, dragging her into the chaos, into the storm. Her pulse quickens, her body shaking, not from fear anymore, but from the raw, unchecked force inside her that's fighting to break free. The alpha is fighting too. She can see him, the way he moves. Graceful and brutal all at once. But even he's beginning to struggle. The pack, no, the enemy, keeps coming. They're not backing down, and they're stronger than she ever could have imagined. Her eyes meet his across the battlefield, and in that brief moment, she sees the truth in his eyes, the weight of the choice, his pack or me. He's standing with her. He's fighting with her. But the battle is slipping out of their hands. There are too many. The energy in the air grows thick, and she can feel it like a storm, like a flood ready to break free. Her heart is pounding in her chest, and every fiber of her being is screaming for her to stop, to think, to calm down. But she can't. She won't. Not when everything she's ever known is at stake. The alpha's eyes lock onto hers again. The moment is fleeting, but it's enough. There's a question in his gaze, an unspoken understanding that shakes her to her core. Do you trust me? Her mind races, her body still trembling from the fight. Can she trust him? Can she trust herself? The sound of the battle around them fills her ears. Growls, snarls, the sound of teeth meeting flesh. But through it all, there's one thought, one question that cuts through the noise. Can I control this? The answer is unclear. The power inside her is too much, too overwhelming, and yet she has no choice but to try. And then, like a bolt of lightning, it hits her. She has to choose. She has to choose herself. The air crackles as the power surges within her. The heat rises in her chest, and for the first time, she embraces it. She lets the flames rise, lets the power burn through her, as wild and untamed as the forest itself. The light in her hands blazes brighter, stronger than it ever has before. The ground beneath them shakes. The wolves scatter, their growls fading into the distance. The alpha's eyes widen in shock, but something else, something proud, flashes in them, as if he's seeing her for the first time. "Now you understand," he mutters, his voice raw and full of awe. But she's not sure she does. The battle is over for now. The forest is silent again, save for the crackling of the fire inside her. Her chest rises and falls with each heavy breath. She's alive. She's standing. But she's not sure who she is anymore. Her body trembles, not from fear, but from the raw energy still coursing through her veins. She's done it. She's tapped into the power inside her, and for the first time, she feels its full force. But at what cost? The alpha steps toward her, his face unreadable, but there's a glint in his eyes, a new understanding. He's seen it now. He's seen the real her. But she's not sure she's ready for that. She's not sure she's ready for any of it. Not yet. Not when the world feels like it's closing in. If you're feeling the heat of this chase, don't miss what comes next. Hit subscribe and join the Kismet Publishing Collection family for more heart-stopping stories. The night has fallen into a delicate silence, the kind only found deep in the heart of the forest. The campfire crackles and pops, casting soft, dancing shadows across the ground. The flames lick the air with warm fingers, but it's not the fire that's burning through her. It's the connection, the one she can't seem to shake, no matter how hard she tries. She sits cross-legged by the fire, the warmth of the flames fighting the chill of the night air. The sound of crickets and rustling leaves fills the space around them, the forest alive with its own pulse, but the air between them feels thick, charged. The alpha sits a few feet away, his posture relaxed but alert, his eyes never straying too far from her. His presence is constant, a quiet pressure that seems to weigh on her even as she fights to ignore it. She can feel the tension between them, like the space around them is vibrating with something they both know but can't quite acknowledge. The words that have been hanging in the air since their first encounter, since the first moment she realized that he wasn't just any alpha. He was something different, something that both terrified and intrigued her. But there's more. She knows that. She knows there's something more between them, something deeper than either of them can name, and it scares her. The flickering firelight catches his face, casting his sharp features in warm amber tones. His eyes, always so guarded, always so distant, are softer now. There's something open in them tonight, something vulnerable she's never seen before, and it shakes her to her core. "You don't have to do this," he says softly, his voice low, almost tender. It's a contrast to the fierce warrior she's seen, the commanding alpha who fought beside her, the man who was all strength and power. But here, in the quiet of the night, he's different. He's not the same. She feels it too, that shift in him. but it only makes her more uncertain. She's never let anyone see this side of her, not after everything that's happened, not after the betrayal, the exile. But there's something about him, something in the way he's looking at her right now, like he's waiting for her to finally let her walls down, to tell him what's been eating her alive inside. The tension in her chest tightens, and she pulls her knees closer to her body, as if the action might protect her from the weight of the moment. Her mind races. The past, the pain, the rejection surges up again, and she fights to keep it at bay. But she knows she can't hold it in any longer. "I wasn't always like this," she begins, her voice barely above a whisper, but it's loud enough to shatter the stillness between them. Her words seem to hang in the air, suspended between them, waiting for his response. But he doesn't interrupt. He simply watches, his gaze steady, patient, as if he's known she would break at some point. She hesitates, unsure if she's ready to face the truth. But something in him makes her believe that maybe, just maybe, he'll understand. That maybe, for once, she can trust someone with this part of herself. "They cast me out," she says, her voice thick with the weight of it. "My pack. They said I was too dangerous." The words feel foreign on her tongue, like they don't belong to her anymore, like they belong to someone else. But it's her truth, and it's something she's carried with her for too long. I didn't ask for this power," she continues, the vulnerability seeping into her words now, no longer able to hide it. "I didn't ask to be this." She stops, her breath catching in her throat, her hands trembling despite herself. She can't look at him, not now. The shame, the fear of rejection is so raw, so real, it's almost suffocating. She's sure he'll turn away, sure he'll see her for what she is, a monster. But when she finally dares to look up, his eyes are fixed on her, unwavering. "You're not a monster," he says, his voice low but firm, as if he's speaking a truth he's known for far longer than she's been alive. "You're a fighter." A soft laugh escapes her, but it's empty, bitter. "A fighter?" she echoes, the word tasting strange on her tongue. "What if I don't want to fight anymore? What if I'm tired of it? Of all of it?" She feels the heat of his gaze on her, but it's not oppressive. It's like the fire itself, warm and constant, offering comfort without expectation. He doesn't try to push her, doesn't force her to speak more than she's ready to. He simply waits. "I don't know who I am anymore," she says finally, her voice breaking with the weight of her confession. "I was forced to be something I didn't want to be. They made me this way, and I don't even know if I can trust myself." The alpha moves closer, just a fraction of an inch, but it feels like a world apart. His presence fills the space between them, and she can't help but lean into it, just a little. He reaches out then, slowly, cautiously, like he's waiting for her to pull back, but she doesn't. His hand brushes hers, and she feels it, the connection, the electricity that sparks between them, igniting something deep inside her. "I see you," he whispers, his voice low and thick with something that feels like promise. "All of you." The words hit her like a wave, crashing over the walls she's spent years building. He sees her. He sees past the scars, past the monster she's always been told she is. And in that moment, something inside her shifts, something that feels both terrifying and freeing. She's never been seen like this before, never been understood. Not like this. His eyes lock onto hers, and she sees it there. the truth of what she's been longing for, buried deep within him. The weight of it presses into her chest, making it hard to breathe. Her heart beats in her throat, her body suddenly alive with the pull between them, the tension so thick she can almost taste it. He leans in slightly, his lips so close she can feel his breath on her skin, and then, as if he's reading her thoughts, he pauses. His gaze flickers to her lips, then back to her eyes, a question hanging in the air. She can feel the space between them narrowing, feel the storm inside her build to an almost unbearable intensity. Her heart races, her mind screaming at her to pull away, but her body betrays her, leaning into him just a fraction of an inch. The tension is thick. She can feel the heat of him, the heat of the moment burning through every inch of her. But just as she's about to close the distance, to finally let herself feel what she's been denying for so long, something stops her. She's not ready. The thought hits her like a cold shower, a sharp burst of clarity that makes her pull back, almost violently. She can't let herself go there. Not yet. Not when everything is still so fragile, so new. Her chest heaves with the intensity of the moment, and she stands abruptly, the movement pulling her away from him. "I can't," she says, her voice strained, like the words are choking her. "I can't trust you, not yet." The alpha doesn't move. He doesn't chase her, doesn't try to pull her back. He just watches her, his gaze soft, understanding. And in that moment she realizes that he's not angry, he's not disappointed. He's waiting. He's waiting for her to trust him, in her own time. The silence hangs heavy in the air. It's the silence of something unspoken, something that's still waiting to be discovered. And as she stands there, heart racing, eyes locked with his, she knows one thing for certain. This is just the beginning. The moment everything shifts is like the flick of a switch. 1 minute, she's standing in the middle of the clearing, the weight of the alpha's gaze still heavy on her. The forest around them seems to hold its breath, as if the world itself is waiting for what comes next. And then, the next moment, everything is shattered. It happens so fast she barely has time to process it. The murmurs begin low, but they grow louder. The voices from behind her, the voices she thought she could trust, turn cold. The pack, the very people who once welcomed her, once promised to stand by her, are now surrounding her. Their eyes aren't filled with compassion or concern. No, there's something darker in them now, something that feels like betrayal. She feels it first in the pit of her stomach, a sinking sensation that tells her everything is about to change. This isn't right, but she can't put her finger on it. Not yet. Not until the words spill out, tearing through the air with the force of a storm. "The one with the mark," a voice calls out, one she recognizes all too well. It's the voice of the council leader, the one who used to smile at her, who used to call her family. Now, his tone is cold, accusing. She is the one we feared. And just like that, the world around her tilts. Her knees buckle, and for a brief, terrible moment, she wonders if she's hearing things. Is this really happening? "They said it was only a matter of time," another voice chimes in, this one sharp and bitter. The power, her power. It's too much, too dangerous. She doesn't understand what's happening. She doesn't know why they're all turning on her, why everything she thought was safe and familiar is now slipping away. Her mind races, her breath quickening as the pack steps back, their eyes filled with judgment, fear, and the worst part, betrayal. "I didn't ask for this," she says, her voice breaking, but it's too late. The damage has been done. The whispers are getting louder now, the accusations thicker. Every word feels like a knife in her gut. And then, the one person she thought she could trust, the one person she thought would stand by her, steps forward. The alpha. His eyes are hard, unreadable, like he's no longer the man she's come to rely on. He looks at her, his face shadowed by the weight of what's happening, his expression torn. The pull between them, the bond she thought was unbreakable, is now fraying at the edges. His gaze flickers away from hers, a brief moment of hesitation that feels like a lifetime. "You've got to understand," he says, his voice low, strained. It's the first time she's ever heard him sound uncertain. "This power, it's not just about you, it's about all of us. You're not just a threat to them, you're a threat to the entire pack." Her heart stops. The words hang in the air, thick and suffocating. She stares at him, her chest tight, her breath coming in ragged gasps. For a moment, the world fades out. All she can hear is the pounding of her own heart, the deafening silence that stretches between them. "No," she whispers, more to herself than to him. "No, you don't understand." But the pack's murmurs grow louder, drowning out her protests. The council leader steps forward again, his face now twisted with accusation. "Her power will destroy us," he declares, his voice a booming statement, heavy with finality. The words hit her like a physical blow. Her chest constricts, as if all the air has been sucked from the world. She tries to breathe, to say something, anything, to make them see that this wasn't what she wanted, that she didn't ask for this power. She doesn't know how to control it. She didn't choose it. She never asked to be a weapon, to be feared, to be cast aside by the very people who should have understood her, and yet, here they are, turning on her. Her world cracks open, the ground beneath her feet giving way as the truth settles in. She thought she was part of them. She thought they were her family. But this betrayal, this is something she can't come back from. In that moment, something inside her snaps. She doesn't want to feel this rage. She doesn't want to be the monster they've always seen her as. But the power inside her, the silver flame that's been simmering beneath her skin, flares. And for the first time, she can't stop it. The ground trembles. The trees around her shake, their branches rattling like they're trying to flee from the force rising in her chest. The heat builds, swirling inside her like a storm. And she can feel it. It's ready to break. "No," she cries out, her voice raw, desperate. "I won't let you do this to me. I won't let you turn me into something I'm not." But the words fall on deaf ears. The alpha's face is still unreadable, his jaw clenched tight as if he's trying to force himself to believe the lies they're all telling. She's dangerous. She's too much. The fire inside her burns brighter, hotter, until she can't hold it back anymore. In one violent explosion, the power bursts forth, tearing through her like a wave crashing against the shore. The air itself catches fire, and for a split second, everything around her is bathed in blinding light. The trees catch fire. The ground beneath her feet cracks open, scorched by the intensity of her rage. The pack stumbles back, eyes wide with terror. They've underestimated her. They've underestimated the force of what she is, what she can become. And in that moment, she doesn't care about the consequences. She doesn't care about what comes next. She's done pretending to be something she's not. She's done running from her power. She'll burn everything in her path if it means finally taking control. The alpha's voice cuts through the chaos, but she can't hear him. All she hears is the roar of the flames, the pounding of her own heartbeat, the raw fury that's finally been set free. The power surges within her like an animal, uncontrollable, wild, and untamed. It's her power, and she's not afraid of it anymore. But the cost is clear. Her heart hammers in her chest, but she doesn't feel the heat of the fire anymore. The world is fading. The flames are licking at the edges of her vision. She knows what she's done. And even though she's standing tall, even though she's finally unleashed everything she's been hiding, she can feel it. She's lost everything. The pack is backing away, eyes wide with fear. The alpha's expression is a mix of awe and something else, something she can't quite place. But there's no time to decipher it. She stares into the fire, her chest rising and falling with every breath, her mind swirling. The silence falls heavy around them, and all she can hear is the steady hum of the power still crackling beneath her skin. Is it worth it? The world around her shifts. The forest, once a sanctuary, now feels like a cage. The trees bending and cracking under the weight of the power that surges through her veins. Her breath comes in sharp bursts, the air thick with the scent of smoke and heat. It's like the very earth beneath her is alive with anticipation, vibrating with energy, knowing what's about to unfold. The pack, her family, watches from behind her, eyes wide with fear, with awe. The alpha is there, his presence a constant pressure, but he stays silent, as if he knows better than to interrupt what's happening. The entire forest holds its breath, waiting for her to make her move, but she's not moving. No, she's standing her ground. The earth beneath her feet trembles as the power inside her rises to the surface, filling her chest with a fire she's never felt before. The silver flame surges, pulsing with intensity, and for the first time, she can feel it, all of it. The power, the rage, the force she's been running from for so long. It's here now. It's hers, and nothing is going to stop her from claiming it. Her hands crackle with energy, silver light pouring from her fingertips, bright enough to cast shadows in the dark. She feels it in her bones, the ancient magic that flows through her bloodline, the raw strength that has always been there but has never fully emerged. Until now. The alpha's voice cuts through the air, low and steady. "You don't have to do this," he says, but it's not a plea. It's a reminder that she is the one in control now, not him, not anyone. She is the one with the power. She is the one who gets to choose. And for the first time, she feels the weight of that choice. She doesn't need to look back to know that they're all watching. Her pack, the enemies closing in. But none of that matters now. It's all too small. Too insignificant compared to the force that's building inside her, ready to consume everything. She breathes in, drawing the power deep into her chest, feeling it flood her veins, the silver flame burning hotter, fiercer. Her heart beats in time with it, each thrum of her pulse echoing in the stillness around her. She can feel the power swirling inside her, coiling like a beast ready to be unleashed, and for the first time in her life, she welcomes it. She opens herself to it, letting it fill her, take over. It's not just the power of her wolf that's awakening, it's everything. The ancient magic of her bloodline, the legacy that's been hidden from her, buried under layers of fear and doubt. It's all rushing to the surface now, and she doesn't fight it. She doesn't need to. Her eyes glow with silver fire as she steps forward, the ground beneath her shaking with the force of it. Her body radiates energy, the silver flames flickering in the air around her like a halo of power. Every step she takes sends a tremor through the earth, and the air crackles with raw, untamed energy. She feels unstoppable, unbeatable. And then she sees him, the real villain, the one who's been pulling the strings all along, the one who's been orchestrating this entire nightmare, using her as a pawn in his game. He steps forward from the shadows, his eyes burning with malevolence, his lips curling into a twisted smile. His power radiates from him, dark and oppressive, but it's nothing compared to hers. She feels it, the difference, the weight of it. He sneers, his voice dripping with arrogance. "You think you can defeat me? You think your power will be enough to stop what's coming?" She doesn't answer. She doesn't need to. The answer is already clear. Her power surges again, this time without hesitation, without fear. She's no longer the scared girl running from herself. She's no longer the exile, the outcast. She is the force of nature. She is the storm. The flames inside her roar, and with one sharp motion she raises her hand, the silver flame swirling violently around her fingertips. The ground shakes again, harder this time, and the air is thick with tension, thick with the promise of destruction. Her power is a living thing now, as if it's been waiting for this moment for centuries, waiting for her to finally claim it. The villain doesn't back down. Instead, he laughs, a low, mocking sound that echoes through the clearing. "You really think you're the one who's going to save them? You're nothing but a weapon, a tool, and in the end, you'll destroy everything you touch." Her heart races, but it's not fear she feels anymore. It's fury, and with that fury comes clarity. She's not here to save anyone. She's not here to be a hero. She's here to end it, to end the lies, the manipulation, the pain. Her gaze never wavers as she steps forward again, her power reaching its peak, the silver flame licking at the air around her like a living thing, burning everything in its path. The earth beneath her feet cracks open, the trees around them beginning to bend and groan under the pressure. Her power is too much, too fierce, and she's not afraid of it anymore. "No," she says, her voice steady, unwavering. "I am not your sacrifice." And with those words, she releases it. The world explodes. The flames roar to life, surging from her body, tearing through the air with such intensity that the very earth beneath her feet is scorched. The ground trembles violently, and the trees snap like twigs as the force of her power rips through the clearing. The villain's smug grin fades, replaced with a look of shock, fear, as her power consumes everything in its path. The Alpha watches, his expression unreadable as the destruction unfolds, as she finally embraces what she's always been. He sees her, all of her, and in that moment, she knows that nothing will ever be the same. The enemy falls back, scrambling, their dark magic unable to hold against her light. The villain's voice rises in desperation as he tries to fight against her power, but it's too late. She is the storm. She is the flame, and they will all burn before her. But even as she stands there, her power raging like a wildfire, she feels the weight of what she's done. The destruction. The cost. She's crossed a line and she can't undo it now. She stares into the chaos, her heart still pounding in her chest. The flames around her are dimming, and she feels the power inside her begin to settle, as if it's finally found its place. But there's no peace. Not yet. Not when the real fight is still ahead. She stands against the villain, her power unleashed, her future uncertain, but she knows one thing for sure. She is no longer the frightened girl she once was. She is the power, and now no one can take that from her. The air hangs heavy, thick with the aftermath of destruction. The ground beneath her feet is scorched, the earth cracking and smoking from the intensity of the power she's unleashed. The fire flickers and dies, the silver flame that once surged from her body now dimming to a smoldering glow. The air still hums with the energy, crackling like electricity, but there's a quiet now, a stillness that feels wrong, too quiet. She stands in the center of the chaos, her heart still pounding in her chest, her breath coming in sharp bursts. The world is in ruins around her. The pack has scattered. The enemy lies at her feet defeated, but the cost is clear. She can feel it in the ache of her limbs, the weight of the destruction she's caused. The forest that once felt like a sanctuary now feels like a graveyard. And somewhere deep inside, a question lingers, echoing louder than the silence around her. What have I done? Her gaze flickers to the Alpha, standing just a few feet away, his body still tense, his eyes never leaving her. He hasn't spoken since the battle ended, his expression unreadable. The weight of everything hangs between them, the unspoken words, the unsaid fears, the lingering tension that feels like a tightrope stretching between them. The pack, her family, has turned its back on her. She's made her choice, but now, with the world in ruins around her, she can't help but wonder if she's made the right one. Was this power worth it? Was it worth losing everything? Are you still with me? She asks, her voice shaky but steady. The question is raw, vulnerable, and it's a question she's never asked before. Not like this, not with everything hanging in the balance. She knows the answer, or at least she thinks she does. She's seen the hesitation in his eyes, the doubt. She's seen the way he's looked at her, the way he's looked through her, like he's waiting for something that might never come. The Alpha steps closer, the weight of his silence pressing down on her like a storm cloud. His expression remains guarded, but she can see the flicker of something behind his eyes, something soft. But she's not ready for it. Not now, not when the world is still burning. The air between them crackles again, and this time, it's not from her power. It's from him. The unspoken words, the question that neither of them is willing to ask out loud. Will you choose me, or will you fear me? The question hits her like a physical blow, and for a moment she can't breathe. She's done what she had to do. She's claimed her power. She's faced the enemy head on. But now she has to face herself. Is she the hero? Or is she just a monster who's finally let loose the beast inside? She looks into his eyes, and for the first time, the weight of his gaze doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a lifeline. But she doesn't know if she can hold on to it. She doesn't know if she can let herself. She doesn't know if she's worthy of it. The silence stretches, and the question remains unanswered, hanging in the air between them like a fragile thread. She opens her mouth to speak, to explain, to ask him to understand. But the words won't come. There's nothing she can say that will change what's been done. The destruction is behind her, and the future is a vast, uncertain void stretching out before her. She's not the girl she used to be. She's not the girl who ran, the girl who hid in the shadows. She's someone different now, someone new. But the question remains, will he choose her? Will he still stand by her side after everything that's happened? Or has she gone too far, crossed a line she can't come back from? For the first time, the weight of her power feels like a curse, like a prison she's locked herself into. She has everything she ever wanted, everything she was promised, but now that she's standing here On the other side of the battle, she wonders if it was worth it. The cost of power, the cost of her own humanity, the cost of everything she's had to leave behind to become who she is. The Alpha steps closer again, his eyes never leaving hers. There's no fear in them, no hesitation, just understanding. He doesn't say a word, but somehow she feels it. He sees her, all of her. "You've already made your choice," he says, his voice low, steady. "And I've made mine." The words hit her, not like a blow, but like a promise. A promise that, despite everything, despite all the destruction and doubt, despite the cost of everything she's done, he's still here. And in that moment, she realizes she doesn't need to fear him. She doesn't need to fear herself. The storm inside her settles. The fire dims. And for the first time in what feels like forever, she feels peace. She's no longer the girl caught in the middle of the storm. She's the storm. And she knows exactly what she's capable of. But that question still hangs in the air between them. Will you choose her? The moment stretches, the world around them holding its breath. Her heart beats in time with the pulse of the earth beneath her feet, and for once, she doesn't fear what's coming next. She doesn't fear what she has to do. She's ready to face whatever comes, because she knows she's no longer alone. And the Alpha? He's still standing beside her. But will that be enough? Can they both walk away from this, or will the world that's been built around them burn to the ground? The forest is quiet now. The battle has ended, the fire's glow fading into the smoldering ruins of what once was. The silver flame that had burned so brightly is nothing but a whisper, a faint ember in the heart of the clearing. The wind stirs the ashes, carrying the remnants of the fight into the night, as if trying to erase what has happened. But it can't. What's been unleashed can never be forgotten. She walks, her steps slow but steady, each one feeling heavier than the last. Her power still hums beneath her skin, a constant presence, but it's no longer the raging storm it once was. It's settled, contained for now, but she knows. It's always there, waiting. The Alpha walks beside her, his presence solid and unyielding, like the ground beneath their feet. His silence speaks volumes, and though he doesn't look at her, she can feel him, like a tether that keeps her grounded, even when the world around them feels like it's unraveling. His presence is both comforting and unsettling, like she's walking beside a storm that could strike at any moment. The chaos of the fight, the destruction they've left behind, is still fresh in her mind. The faces of those she's fought with, fought against, all blurred together in the smoke and fury. The power that she's embraced, the force that has made her unstoppable, feels both like a blessing and a curse. She's not sure how much of her soul it's taken yet. She's not sure if it will ever stop taking. The silence between them stretches, thick with unspoken words, until finally the Alpha speaks, his voice low and steady as always. "You did what needed to be done," he says, his eyes scanning the horizon, his expression unreadable. "But this isn't over. Not yet." She doesn't answer right away, the weight of his words sinking deep into her bones. She knows he's right. She can feel it. The threat has only just begun. Her mind drifts to the villains they've faced, to the enemy she's just vanquished, the power she's claimed, the destruction she's caused. It's only one part of the puzzle. She can still hear their voices in her head, the warnings, the accusations. Her power will destroy us. She is the one we feared. The words haunt her, no matter how far she walks, no matter how many steps she takes away from the battlefield. But as much as she wants to leave it all behind, to find a quiet place where the chaos can finally end, she knows better. The world doesn't let you forget. It doesn't let you walk away from the destruction you've caused. The ground beneath their feet trembles, just slightly at first, a whisper of movement that makes her pause. She glances at the alpha, but his expression doesn't change. His eyes are fixed on something ahead, something in the distance that she can't see. She feels it, though, that sense of something else, something she can't put her finger on, but it's there, lurking in the shadows. And then, from the darkness ahead, a voice rises. "She is not the only one." The words slice through the quiet like a blade, sharp and cold, and for the first time in what feels like forever, her breath catches in her throat. Her body tenses instinctively, every muscle going taut as she listens, the voice lingering in the air like a threat waiting to be realized. The alpha's expression hardens, his eyes narrowing as he looks into the shadows, his posture shifting, ready to react. The voice is low, almost a whisper, but it carries through the clearing like a storm. It's not a threat. It's not a warning. It's a promise. And it sends a chill down her spine, a reminder that even after everything, after the battle, the chaos, the fire, this isn't over. The world she's just begun to understand, the power she's only just begun to claim, is about to open up into something far darker than she ever imagined. The silence that follows the voice feels like an eternity. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. The alpha steps forward, his eyes scanning the horizon, but she doesn't move. She can't. The words echo in her mind, repeating over and over like a haunting refrain. She is not the only one. She feels it then, the weight of what's coming. The darkness that's still out there, still lurking, just beyond the edge of their reach. The battles aren't over. The war is far from finished. The pieces are moving, and she's just one part of a much larger game. The alpha turns to her then, his gaze softer than before, though still filled with the weight of what they've just experienced. "It's not over," he says again, his voice low, but there's something more in it this time. A promise, a truth. "We've only just begun." She meets his gaze, and for the first time since the battle, she feels the weight of their connection in a new way. The bond between them is still there, still unbreakable. But it's not the kind of connection that's easy or simple. It's forged in the fire of battle, in the heat of shared destruction, and it's far more complicated than anything she's ever known. But in that moment, as they stand in the heart of the shattered forest, she knows one thing. She knows that whatever happens next, whatever comes after the storm, she's not alone. Not anymore. And that's more than she ever thought she could have. The ground trembles again, more violently this time, and she can feel it. A shift in the air, a vibration beneath her feet, as if the world itself is telling her that the fight is far from over. The energy crackles between them, and she can see it in the alpha's eyes. He knows it too. And then, in the distance, the shadows shift again, moving ever closer. They're not alone anymore. The battle may have been won, but the war is just beginning. The question remains, hanging in the air between them. Will you choose her side, or will you fear her too? If this story lit something inside you, subscribe to Kismet Publishing Collection. Because here, we tell tales that burn